Why has the County Public Service Board of Nairobi ignored the Public Service Commission, the Ministry of Health and the courts in implementing career guidelines for clinical officers?
Well, the Public Service Board is almost semi-autonomous. I think the chair would answer that. But I doubt they've ignored it. I've had many engagements. Remember, despite being governor, on top of being governor of Nairobi, I'm also the chair of human resources at the Council of Governors. And I'm the one who's resolved their strike, where they were not being admitted to SHA. As they were being told to go under a doctor, and I said no, they must be recognized and be admitted as clinical officers. So that is something that we're on top of.
For 3 years now, stormwater management has been a problem in the city under Governor Sakaja's watch. What concrete strategies has his administration adopted to engineer a lasting solution to stop water management? If what the county government lacks is technical expertise, we are here to help.
The county doesn't lack technical expertise. As I've said, we are very, very qualified engineers, but we also engage with the Institute of Engineers. I've seen requests from the consulting engineers. Let's come together, if you have more ideas, but everything you propose has a cost. So again, the resourcing and the RMLF issue. We sort out RMLF for counties, we'll sort out Nairobi.
Kindly ask Governor Sakaja, special needs populations given adequate housing options, how much of the community's rental housing stock is subsidized? Will the affordable housing master plan raise on single-family neighborhoods?
But to the dissatisfaction
some of the
other leaders across the
single-family neighborhoods, and possibly they're talking about the single-unit dwellings, have to be redone. The population, if you look at Woodley Estate done by Sir Richard Woodley, who was mayor of Nairobi in the 40s, I think 50s, the need is different. And so that's why I give you the example that 43 houses are now have yielded. And the courts sided with me because they had gone to court to say they cannot be demolished. Before we told them to move, I gave each and every of the tenants, they're tenants, remember, 900,000 shillings to pay rent for a few months, go elsewhere, and come back, and I've given them an allotment letter for a house for free. I said everything you've paid as a family, because many of these houses, you go to Jericho, go to all these estates, you'll find that it was an uncle, the dad, the son, and there's a lot of history attached to them. But we've said, look, we'll give you a house, we will retain you if you have that card from the county government and you're in our records. But also, 43 houses have yielded to 1975 houses. Remember, in 2050, Nairobi will have a population of 10.5 million people. 10.5 million. It's 696 square kilometers. It's not expanding. So we must, so I'm sorry, there we must rezone single-family neighborhoods, but there are different categories. One-bedroom house at 35 square meters. There's two-bedroom house at 45. There's three-bedroom. In some areas like Woodley and others we're doing, there's even four-bedroom houses. Special needs are being taken care of. If you look at our new building code passed last year, as well as the KEBS building standards, you must have ramps, you must have what we call universal access. Even the new walkways we're doing in pavements, you find in Nairobi pavements would end abruptly, and so you can't roll a wheelchair. Across the world, it slants. There are some, dots at the end, that if you're with a white cane, you can feel that this is the end of it. The street light has audio. That is where we're moving to.
Sakaja and NEMA allowed parklands to become lawless. Developers park trucks on the roads, cut down trees, block drainage, and show no accountability. No replanting, no regard for environment. Why is this allowed, Sakaja?
It is not allowed. It is wrong. It is wrong, and that's why I'm asking. In fact, I would want to meet the resident associations to discuss this, because a lot of the roads we're redoing, go to Chania Avenue, go to Kindaruma, which we've redone, go to Wood Avenue. The mess has been done by construction trucks, especially those carrying premix concrete, carrying steel. I met the Property Developers Association, KPDA, and the Chinese Property Developers Association together. I told them, you guys, I will not give you an occupational certificate before you restore that road. And moving forward, you'll have to maintain it to continue having your permit, because we must all be responsible.
A developer register enables Nairobi residents to appeal building approvals that are contrary to zoning guidelines. Lack of this register is the root of all haphazard, unchecked and unplanned development in Nairobi County.
A development register is a provision of the Physical Land Use Planning Act, Section 62, thereabout, that is envisaged in the law. The last section of that paragraph talks about regulations being done by the Cabinet Secretary. We've written and asked them to do the regulations of how the register is done, but it's something we're keen on, and the CS Alice Ahome is to do those regulations for us to now publish that register. Before, you'd go to the minute books of the City Council and you'll get all of that information.
Okay. Governor Sakaja, why there have been consistent deliberate delays in payment of salaries to doctors in Nairobi City County government?
They have not.
When was the last time they were paid?
They have not. They're paid every month. You'll find counties where, and unfortunately, and I don't blame my colleagues, because if I'm telling you counties last got exchequer in February, that struggle. This month, we're able to pay right before Easter, which is, of course, that's a delay. But it's not for doctors, it's for all the staff, including me, including my salary. We don't pay salaries based on your engineers first, then doctors, then it's everyone. My wage bill is around 1.5 billion shillings.
A month?
And so, yes. And so if for 3 months you've not received exchequer, there's a strain on your own source revenue. And remember, the city must keep operating, you know. So there's no deliberate delay. Why would anyone want to delay someone else's salary, including their own? Because you're paid together. It's one payroll that is passed.
1.5 B a month, is that a little bloated?
It's not enough. We don't even have enough staff in this city. Do the math after the show. 19,000 staff serving 7 million people. Vis-a-vis, maybe the national government, I think they may possibly, if you put teachers, 600,000 staff serving 50 million people. It's not enough.
Is kudos for dealing with hawkers in the city. However, there is still some back, especially in the evening and on Tomboya Street. What are you doing to ensure the city is pedestrian friendly, not only in the CBD but also in estates where traders have encroached on walkways?
I know my chief officer for enforcement, Eva, is watching.
Kazi.
And I've discussed with the hawkers, Gashanja, their chair, and Kimani, and we've agreed for them to use back lanes. I want them to do their business. We've covered some of the areas we've provided for them. But on the walkway, the pedestrian walkway is for pedestrians. So it's not allowed.
Just says, what has happened to Roysambu Ward WDP? It had an allocation of 23 million. We are in April, only 2 months to the end of the financial year. Where is our project?
I think they should talk to the MCA. But as I've said, we're paying in batches. We've done 284. There's 385 at the control of budget, waiting for, you do a budget, but you wait for it to be financed. As of today, I think we had 131 million in the CRF, County Revenue Fund. Each day we collect an amount. It's a priority. Let me tell you, there is nothing I love more than ward development-based projects. And that is my number one priority, because they reach Bonanchi where they are. Roysambu is the ward that got the first tarmac road I did as governor. Yeah, TRM Drive next to Jesus Winner. And I'm going to do Lumumba Drive. I'm going to do all of those are part of the program. I told you we secured 2.6 billion recently that we're working with the national government.
This says, Honorable Governor Sakaja, kindly address the delayed salaries of Nairobi County workers. Many families depend on timely payments for livelihoods. When can they expect resolution? Transparency will ease anxieties. This is the second time this is coming.
I think if it's not been paid, it's not our worker. All our workers are paid. And I can show you my message when I received my salary. It's one payroll.
How much do you make?
I can't tell you. And it's in public domain what governors make. But it was all done. I think this is the biggest delay. And let me tell you, this is a county, and sometimes people take for granted. Before I became governor, you'd have months of salary delays. We have no single backlog of any month. It may come late. It may come on the 10th or the 15th, but it's paid that month, for sure. Now, what we did, possibly that's what they're alluding to, was we did a biometric registration of all our staff to make sure there are no ghost workers. You will be shocked. There are many officers who backdated designations because they had not been in the county. Because I gave them the best health insurance, you have to register biometrically, Many didn't come for it. And I said, only pay those in the biometric register. So those who came later on are the ones who are being onboarded later, because, I mean, some people are in the States working there. Some are in the UK, they moved a long time ago and receiving a salary. So in fact, that report that we've done is now going to be forwarded to the investigative agencies to say, why are you receiving a salary and you're not in the city? Yeah.
It's Otieno Mokaya as you look for the payment.
Thank you.
Ask Sakaja Johnson whether the contractors who did cabros and roadworks in CBD have been paid, and if not, is there money to pay them? If there is, when will they be paid? Nairobi County is killing contractors with debt and depression. Pending bills.
The contractors who did cabros in the CBD under the Nairobi County government have all been paid. It was under RMLF, and I got the allocation that had been, there was a hanging allocation of 970 million from 2019 that they didn't give the last governor, but I negotiated and got it. Those who may not have been paid are the NMS pending bills, which are not under the county government, they're under the executive office in the national government.
Okay. So ask Governor Sakaja to provide data on how much has been spent on road repairs in the past year and the impact.
Of course, that can't be top of my head. I can look and give that information. Please give me that Twitter handle.
Okay, so Abel, we can get that back? Yes.
Sue 4050.
At Sue 4050.
Okay, at Sue 4050. I know Engineer Tirop, my chief officer for roads, is watching. Please give me that information and tweet back to Sue 4050.
Next is from Richie Mahmoud. He says, or she, not sure. I don't have much to tell Sakaja because Nairobi is messy everywhere, but on the issue of Mayai Boiro and Smoky, by the way, Jeff had one.
Yeah.
And why can those vendors be provided with medical certificates at a fee so that we can be served our favorite smokies or smochers, okay?
You have seen what my chief officer, Mosiria, has been unearthing about the health standards, you know. I want these people to do their business, but to do it properly and in the right place. And so everybody gets a medical certificate. You must get it from the county and apply for it. It's available for them to pay at a fee. In fact, if they want to pay in installments, I can allow them to do it, for them to be tested. But I will not have them on walkways. I will not have them, because the other question you asked was about pedestrians. You know, so we can't contradict ourselves. Do it at the right place.
And then
Tamawati says, ask the governor whether his administration could extend the Dish and County program to universities. Bwana comrades onai nama hatari.
Nama is, you know, when you lack a meal, and many kids in campus are actually lacking meals because it's tough. It's tough out there. Of course, constitutionally, I'm not allowed to get to that level, but I would love to, because I have the infrastructure. I have those 17 kitchens. I want to do more, and I keep saying I will not say my target until I meet it, because I don't like making a promise that I won't fulfill, and I will fulfill it, to cover at least all the kids in the city.
Okay.
And universities, I think there should be a framework for it. So that's something I can follow up with the minister, Migos.
Miriam says, His Excellency Governor Sakaja has improved the customer service center at City Hall by employing young clerks who are very friendly and efficient. It's a compliment.
Thank you.
Esther K says,
Lydia Gaderu is in charge of that customer service center. She's really good, and I have amazing young people. If you go there, you'll be served with a smile. When I became governor, I realized, and I knew, public service, most offices you go to in government, they find the public a nuisance. That one of mnakuja hapa, they leave their coat, and we had to change that culture slowly.
Like house used to be.
Yeah. But today you come, you're greeted with a smile. It's just that if I would even give people lunch, but I can't, you know.
Esther K says, on the Nairobi Battle of Choirs, can the governor clarify on the payment of the participants, and will we have one this year?
All those who won the last Battle of the Choirs were paid. Number one was Kahoa West Church. That will be paid 2 million. I added 1 million for them. They got 3. Number 2 and number 3 got their money. I think there are possibly some vendors, you know, some of those who subcontract maybe didn't pay their people, and I'd love to follow it up if they tell me who. No, this year we want to do a Christmas festival. So we didn't do Battle of Choirs normally happens during Easter.
Okay.
And so this year we skipped it, so that we can do a festival at the end of the year. After the Nairobi festival, some Christmas choir festival.
Ken Mweresa, watching this broadcast from Kibra, says, hello, our Governor Sakaja. Just my concern, we were glad and happy with our governor's Okay, your governor school fund that was doing well and helping the less fortunate students, especially from ghetto areas, but abruptly this fund has been stopped without any address. Kindly enlighten us about it. We are worried our children will be out of school.
Jeff, I've spoken about this numerously. You saw the controller of budget told counties to stop issuing bursaries and scholarships. I have 119,000 children who receive bursaries every term. The bursary you might get this term, next term you may not get. We give it at the ward level. But I have 5,100 children in high school who get a scholarship. Those who perform the best after the last year of primary school, or JSS now, you know. When this was stopped by the controller of budget, and then somebody went to court and actually now completely stopped it, so many of these kids have been sent back home. They say we should do an intergovernmental agreement. I have reached out to the Ministry of Education. I have a draft. But that court ruling is holding us back, you know. And our message to the controller of budget, who I have much respect for, is that devolution is not a competition between national and county governments. By counties paying bursaries, we're not performing the function of education that belongs to the national government. We're performing a social protection function that is within our purview, because we're keeping these kids in school. If you have not noticed, Jeff, over the last 2 years, the number of kids you would find in the streets in Nairobi during a school day has gone down drastically, because they're in school. They have bursary and they have food. But now, look at the situation. You know, so I really urge, and I'm glad the president is in support. You know, he said that, you know, and he addressed the COB to drop that. Devolution is based on what we call the principle of subsidiarity, where a service is best offered at the lowest level compatible with that benefit area. It's easier for me to identify a child in Madare, in Ndururuno Primary School, and support him than the national government. And if I have the budget to do it, allow me to do it.
Dr. Kalua Girin, of course, environmentalist. Sakaja deserves more than praise, he says. He deserves our partnership. Let's make Nairobi work for common good.
Asante sana, Daktari.
Sorry.
CK says, Jeff, kindly ask the governor what he plans to do about the chaos and lack of order in CBD. You have border borders riding on the wrong side of the road, lack of traffic lights, jaywalking, etc. It's anarchy.
I know a lot of the traffic lights had been vandalized last year, and we're restoring them. Remember, again, in terms of the delineation of functions, traffic management, according to our constitution's fourth schedule, is a county function. But you find traffic police in there. They have no business actually doing that function. And so there's still that tussle about it. And it's something we'll sort out. I mean, you see border riders, and my friends are there. CBD chairman is Ken Onyango. And I keep telling him, you cannot have your borders riding anti-clockwise on a roundabout or how they want to. We have an entire wing in Kenyatta Hospital for border accidents.
And those happen every day.
I was patron of widows when I was an MP, when I became senator. Widows of border riders. And so I think we need to, and I'll reach out to the Inspector General of Police again. We need to really enforce, because we know the law. Then I mean, how many border and passengers you see with helmets on?
It's wrong.
Olwal says, before becoming the governor, Sakaja was a rapper and a businessman and an actuarial science chap, which he still is. Please, Jeff, ask him how his talent is tied to his success as a governor.
Stress reduction. When I'm stressed, I pick up my guitar.
Is that right?
Yeah, I have a guitar in my office. So when I just pick it up, strum a bit. Well and sometimes I rap a little, you know, with my friends.
Seriously?
This is, I think, a repeat, so we'll move to the next.
And we'll actually publish this, and we'll be the first county to publish.
Okay. Colwell 6 says, Governor Sakaja's initiative to decongest the city by introducing efficient public transport systems, such as the revamped bus routes and termini, showcases commitment to sustainable urban planning. Kudos.
Asante. Colwell knows what we've done. We've brought back the new bus routes that I've gazetted and sent to the Assembly. You remember before, not all buses and matatus must terminate in the CBD. Right. We used to have number 842 that would go from Kibera to Dandora. You know, we used to have Kayole to Kawangware. So that the CBD doesn't have to be a congestion point, that you can go across from Kawangware, number 23 would go all the way to Buruburu. You know, so that is what we've restored. We've taken it to the assembly, and I know the committee on roads and transport is going to expedite it, so that we can have a city that breathes and that flows. That, as well as what I've discussed on BRT and the metro, that we need to get done in the city. To tell the people of Nairobi, I'm ever so grateful, and always am grateful, for the opportunity to serve. Our city has a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities. God has gifted us with a lot of great things. Our people, our culture, our best gift. We don't have minerals or gold. Our best gift is our people. I hope that we can still come together and make Nairobi work together. It is not one person's role. We all have a responsibility. Let us move from just about our rights to about our responsibility. Sio tu haki yetu, but wajibu wetu. I'm ready, to continue working with the people. And many times we may falter, we may stumble, but the intention is there. The will is there, the heart is there, and the mind is there to make Nairobi work. So let's make Nairobi work. Thank you.